Sure. Honey badger. I need to stop the stream. Yeah. Goodness. Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Have you got sound? Is your sound coming through? Yeah. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Do we have all around sound? You may speak for me a second. No, is the answer to that. Wonderful. Aha. Try again now.
Yes, hello?
There we go.
Are we live?
We are live. So hello and welcome everybody to another book club book chat. Just gonna post today's talking points when I remember where I put them. And I managed to fix the technical difficulties early, so no 30 minutes of me talking to the voices in my head today. Yay! Oh, I'm doing a fantastic job. How are we all this week?
I'm sick.
This is not good.
I mean, I'm also present for book club, and that's fun. I like book club. Aw. Cold isn't fun, however.
Cold isn't fun.
How about our resident goose? How are you?
Good.
Silence.
I'm not bad. I have a long week. I have a long weekend. And I get to spend plenty of time with the kids, which I'm looking forward to.
That's nice.
So that should be nice.
You get full dad mode.
Side
tomorrow.
note, Ari, the chat is not big.
Chatting.
Oh,
No, the chat is
that-
there. It's just very opaque.
yeah, because I was.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
I
do.
broke it. Damn it, I broke it earlier. And I thought I'd managed to fix it. Apparently, I had not.
Well, at least we can
Anyways.
see it now compared to a couple of weeks ago when.
We never have technical difficulties.
Right. Let's see if this is any better.
No, that's even worse.
No,
Now there's no chat.
No, hang on. I can fix that. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Because we are. Okay, no, it has gone completely. What the fuck?
No, now it's there.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. It just took a minute to.
Yeah, it didn't show the previous chats though, which is
Yeah,
strange.
it's knocked that off annoyingly, but at least we have chat again. Honey Badger is one of our lovely new book club members. She came in the mummening, as it seems to have been lovingly named.
Yes.
Honey Badger was unfortunately bullied because she happened to mention a book that then took over her entire life in Discord for the first 3 days of her being here.
More like 1.5 weeks.
God, has it been that long already?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Don't know where I am anymore, to be fair.
fair enough. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about fan fiction.
This is not my area of expertise. I will preface this. I have engaged with very, very little fan fiction.
You are missing out.
I am ready to be informed.
I
You
have
are
read
missing
very
out.
little fanfiction, and I still have opinions.
I think you said that in such an aggressive manner.
He even had hand gestures.
Hand gestures too, baby.
I'm trying to do the SpongeBob murder gif, but opinions.
We
I have
have
written a few too, Honey Badger. I may or may not also have been on Tumblr and had a fairly big fan blog over there. May or may not have.
yeah. This I
Oh,
think
Zenimus is here.
Hey Zenimus, welcome in. Yeah, Une and I ended up. I think we've been probably looking forward to this one the most, which I
Yeah,
think out of all the chats, just purely because all week we've been hitting each other back and forth with stupidly funny tags that you can only find on things like fan fiction, which has been a giggle, I must say.
it's been fun to find some new ones or old ones.
So, considering we have some people who have never read fanfiction or have read very little by way of fanfiction, and we have people here who have read it and written it, my first question to you is what motivates fans to create fix-it stories? The thing is, that is a lot of the reason that people turn to fanfiction. So what do you guys think?
You're sounding slightly robotic on my end.
Yes, I was just about to say.
I got a text message this morning to say that there is something wrong with my internet and engineers are working on it. It's been fine all day, and I kind of guessed that the minute I started streaming is the minute it was going to go, oh, see, there's the issue. So
And you're sounding fine now.
we'll fingers crossed and hope for the best on this, and I will keep my microphone in front of my face.
Badger's right,
But
or
that's
Honey Badger, I
Honey
should
Badger's-
say.
Yeah, you
A
can't
plot
just say
line.
badger.
Yeah, oh God, the badgering.
Yes, that is why I said Honey Badger said a plot line that they wished would have happened, probably.
I will admit the only fanfic I remember ever reading was a fanfic of the ending of Aragon. That was it.
I was waiting for the they that shall not be named.
Me too.
Huh?
Me too.
I'm just waiting for you to bring up FF.
Oh no, I've never seen. No, never.
I could see
Their
you
story's
reading
too good.
FF
Their
fanfiction.
story's too good. No, the story's already good enough.
There's
Don't you
already
want
a
to read like side stories more?
Yeah,
But
like
No, because it's not canon.
That's the point.
Okay, wait.
No, okay, no,
No,
but
I have a counter to that. Because one of the mainline Final Fantasy games is basically a fanfiction. I don't care that it's official.
oh,
but
15? Totally.
No, not 15.
No?
No, 10-2 is a fucking fanfiction.
yes.
15 is 10. 15 and 16 are technically AUs.
Alternate universes. Yeah, that's technically true. That's fair.
But yeah, like if a story is good enough and I don't need to change it, I want to know canonically what's happening with people. If I find that the only reason I would venture into fanfic, because it isn't canon and I like things that are canon, is if I was that disappointed with the ending of something that I was like, this has to be written alternatively.
I mean, fair.
No. So there is something
Uh,
quite fun about reading something you enjoy and then reading different AUs of it, just for the giggles. Or crossovers.
That is
Crossovers are really good fun.
yeah. But when Marvel Cinematic Universe became a thing,
Mm-hmm.
we got an influx of fix-it stories.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because just like when people are talking about the comics and such, they've always had the theories about if we did something different, could we have fixed it?
Sokovia Accords, I remember being a really big part of the like the fan fiction world. The whole like what if Steve and Tony actually had a conversation and dealt with it like mature adults instead of getting into a big fight.
you mean skipping the entire Civil War saga?
Yeah,
Yes.
completely rewriting it so that they actually use Tony's brains to help Bucky, and they didn't become
Where
Um,
therapy happens.
yeah. They
Therapy
didn't
is
wreck
very
an
big
entire
in fan-
city and kill some people and
But like, okay, so
that's the best thing about fanfics of Marvel is technically speaking you can convince yourself they're canon because we now have the fact in Marvel that wormholes and alternate universes and the multiverse exists, so technically it's all
Yeah, no,
canon
the
until
moment
someone tells me otherwise.
I was just about to say the moment a multiverse is thrown in, you have free reign.
Yeah, but again, that's
Absolutely.
I'm gonna out myself. So I was a big Harry Potter fanfic, 100%. Teen Wolf, Supernatural, and I just said it, Marvel, and then my brain died. Were probably my 4 big reads of all things fanfic.
I'm gonna
And-
say that Sailor Moon got me into fanfic.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mind
Yeah, I
you,
think I probably read some
started reading
Vampire Knight fanfic back in the day, which is
24 years ago.
yeah. Remember, we're
So-
older than Google.
Yeah.
Don't
I've been
do
reading.
this to me.
I've been reading
I'm not.
fanfic almost as long as Google has been
Hang
a
on.
thing.
Hang on.
You fucking ancient
Google
fucks.
is 25.
Apologies, but
Yeah, and
You are literally 5 months younger than Google.
I'm still yoga.
yeah.
September
younger than
1998 and you're the March 1999.
Barton, thanks for doxing me. Just
That's
out
not
my
a
birthday.
boxing.
It's not doxing you. I didn't give them your
I
address.
I know. I'm being pedantic.
Also, you called me an old fuck. Get fucked. Stay
What do
fucked.
you mean pedantic? Pedantic means you're correct. You're just fucking wrong.
Rachel Snatcher.
Either way, another reason why people write fix-it stories is because writers and or authors have a tendency to do either, I don't know the correct terms, but LGBTQ bait or just shipping bait.
Yes.
Yep.
And I know the Sherlock
Oh,
universe
Sherlock, I've read.
has a lot of no, you basically made this canon, you just never took the last step, so fuck you, we are.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
If you
And
don't
then
do it, we'll do it.
and then we have Wincest, which I have questions
for
about.
1,000 channel points.
Why would
I
you
know,
set your
big-
text to speech as led?
Why not?
Out of all the things you could
I wanted
put
to see how it.
in
I wanted to
text
see how
to
it works.
speech, why would you put led?
It was meant to be little, but
Oh, little.
You forgot spaces, apparently.
Little.
Okay. Because having
whether I'm going Patrick
Cool.
Star or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you don't know, and you never will.
poor AI Grace just had to scream lead, 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 lead in my ear. So thank you for that. But it means the alerts work because you got the little raccoon. It worked.
Yay. But yeah, and a lot of people have ships where they go like, no, but these characters would work together.
Cyberus is the goose, just to answer your question, Badger.
Hmm.
Because he's a silly goose. He is the silliest of silly gooses.
Which means I could be the red panda
Which means you can be the
and
red
reign
panda.
supreme. But also fix it stories that that might not quite be fix it stories, but like they continue on where the show or books have dropped off before the next thing arrives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
yeah. Waiting games between books in a series is a great pastime for fanfickers.
especially considering I genuinely thought I was reading a leaked Harry Potter book. And then I was informed that it was a fanfic, and I was like, you know what? I'm not reading any more Harry Potter books because this one made it much better.
Oh, bugger, I forgot to put this in promote yourself. Thank you for that
You can have
reminder.
it.
I have the brain capacity of a spoon. When you'd like to work, computer, that would be great. Thanks.
I can't wait till we can get you a new one.
Computer, yeah, no, neither can I. Poor thing is screaming at me. I really need to change this. Oh.
Some of the Discord message sounds are coming through.
No, it's not supposed to do that.
No, I don't know why it does either, but it does sometimes. But much less than the
Not
dreaded.
as manic as it was during the
Mom name.
influx of people where it went crazy.
Yeah.
I very, very, very rarely actually mute Discord if I'm doing something else. Because if I'm on my computer and I'm doing stuff, usually it's just a ping here and there and I can kind of go, yeah, that'll do, and just crack on with life. But when I was trying to study and things like that, I genuinely had to put it on mute for like an hour just to be able to focus because it was going crazy.
Moving on, because we kind of sort of did share examples of fan fictions that have fixed or reimagined stories with
Oh yeah, no, I think I know a lot that have been fixed. I have to give a shout out. So there is a fanfiction author, who I found on Tumblr back in the day, who goes by the moniker "Till the End Will I Write."
Mm-hmm.
Tends to write predominantly Marvel fanfiction. If they could be made into book, it's probably the only bits of work that I've actually thought I would download this and bind it into an actual book because I enjoyed it that much that I will go back and reread them regularly. I've got them downloaded on my Kindle and I reread them on a regular basis. I think she did a fantastic job. So if you're into Marvel, especially Loki, who I have a special place in my heart for,
like every female on this planet.
there's something about him, okay? Just give me a break. But yes, if you are a Marvel fan, then Till the End Will I Write, who is on AO3 and Tumblr. Highly, highly recommend.
Are fan interpretations a form of criticism or just creative expression? I can start here because I think it's both.
It can be both.
No, I just think it is both. um, Obviously, depending on the offer, but yeah, sure, okay, it can be both dependent on the offer. The fanfic offer, to be specific here now. We're not going to argue about this topic?
No.
I'm gonna catch up with my brain in a second
Ah,
and make you repeat yourself. Right, sorry. Ask that again, now that I'm caught up with myself.
are fan interpretations a form of criticism or just creative expression? And I said it can be both, dependent on offer.
Yeah, both. Depending on the author, depending on the story, it's either criticism, because they think you did a really shit job, or were
Yeah,
really
no,
shit to a character, or it's creative expression because one of the greatest things about fan fiction is you've already got a world and character base to build your writing skills from. And I know that we know of a lot of best-selling authors that started off in fan fiction. Sarah J. Maas, I believe, started in fan fiction. Obviously, we know the dreaded 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, it's. I mean, I think writing is hard, whether it's fan fiction or like the next Sunday Times bestseller. Writing is hard, and if watching a TV show like Merlin, for instance, because I know that has a humongous.
oh, Merlin is amazing.
No, but it has a huge fanfic base.
Oh yes.
If something like that gives you like an idea of, even if it is just a one shot, it's a starting point, and I think that's really great. There was an argument back in the day. I say back in the day, that made me sound really old. Back in the Tumblr heyday about copyright, because
Oh yes.
obviously there were a lot of people posting their fanfics all over the place, and then there were Patreons and Ko-fi. Is it Ko-fi? Ko-fi? Buy me
Yes.
coffees.
Kofi.
Kofi, yeah.
All of these things, and then of course it brought round the question of like, can you earn money writing fanfiction? Because technically speaking, it is copyrighted works.
So,
And the answer technically is no, you can't. If you write fanfiction and then you try to sell it either in a physical copy or you sell people access to it, you are breaking copyright because it's not your work. However, I think there should be a grey area on that, because I, as a streamer, can make money for people watching me play a video game that was created by somebody else. I don't have to pay for a license or anything to play that video game on stream. So, in essence, I think unless you're trying to sell it as your own work, I think there should be a way of licensing it so that you can make fan fictions and
So-
sell them.
Yeah, just like how you make fan work, fan art, and can sell that.
Absolutely. Same with merch. There's a lot of places where you can speak to an artist or whatever and buy a license to be a licensed merch creator. So why is it not the same with fanfiction? And part of me thinks it's writer ego.
So wait. Now I can do this. Okay. So because we have two offers which are so fun to juxtapose against each other. I think the first one is Neil Gaiman, who have openly said, of course you can write fan fiction about my works. Half of my works are fan fiction.
Yeah.
He's also very active on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like because people have been like, but okay, you don't mind this, can I sell it? And he's like, I make fan fiction.
Go ahead.
Basically, I make fan fiction. I take the story of Sandman as an example and make it into an elaborate goddamn story, which is essentially fan fiction.
This is
And
the
then
thing
we
with
have
anything that's written about Greek mythology. It's all
yes, I
coming
was
from
gonna
someone
bring
else's work.
I was gonna bring up Persephone and Hades stories.
Yep.
Yeah,
Persephone.
Persephone.
Correct.
Persephone. Yes, Persephone. Fuck you.
Persephone.
I got derailed. Shit. Anne Rice. Anne Rice is the complete juxtaposition of that, where she has been extremely litigious towards anyone who writes.
Yeah, we had a huge thing with her suing people left and right for a
Yes,
bit there.
yeah, that would be what litigious means, honey.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, my brain could not work out what that was, so
Okay. Yes. Because she feels like, no, this is my world, and you can't in any way, shape, or form change this world because this is my world. We are now
Okay.
by the way,
Middle
hitting
ground.
on the who truly owns the story once it's released to the public, the author or the fandom. And I, respectfully, will tell every author to go fuck themselves.
Okay, so what about a middle ground where you've got you can't write about the main characters, but you can put any characters you wish within that universe.
No, I think
Why?
you should just be able to buy a license.
yeah.
Same
Yeah,
as like streaming music or something like that. I think you should be
The
able
license
to
makes sense, but in
buy a
terms of
license
where
to use somebody's work, as long as you're not just rewriting the story. If it is 99% the original story, but you slightly change the ending,
That should go against the license.
yeah, probably. But
yeah,
I
but
mean,
that could be subjective to opinion. That's why I think you're going to struggle with the license, and you're going to have a lot of back and forth with things.
no, but
If you
okay.
have go, okay, we're going to take the, for example, Mistborn world with Alamancy and everything, and we're not going to write about Vin and that lot, but what we are going to write about is a scar on one of the plantations, or we're going to write about 100 years in the past about a war between the great houses or something,
Or
right?
you could actually write. You could actually, spoiling a bit here, but you could actually expand on the journals from the first book.
Exactly. Like if you, but this is where I talk about. I want to say that the journals, if you take a character directly involved, or not directly involved, I don't know how to phrase this. You might have to help me with this one.
Integral to the plot.
Yes. And you start manipulating how they do things, I think potentially that takes the author's vision for that character and screws with it.
Okay.
If you, however, insert your own characters into that world and go, we exist
problem-
within this universe that you've
wait,
created,
wait.
and we might interact with those characters along the way.
That's where I have a problem because
And I.
Why?
because you have a lot of reader insert. Again, take Harry Potter for instance. You will get a lot of stories that are like reader and Harry, or the reader is part of the. It's not a golden trio anymore. It's a golden quartet, or the reader is a Slytherin and gets with Draco, or there's something like that where you have main characters that massively interact with a reader insert character. I think for me, you shouldn't be allowed to sell fan fiction on like Amazon or in Barnes and Noble or Waterstones or whatever bookshop of your choice is. I don't think you should be able to go as far as publishing it. However, I do think things like Patreon or Ko-fi, where you're making a little bit of cash off updating your stories or adding in fan art or things like that, I don't think should be subject to copyright.
I'm surprised. I thought I was going to take a moderate position. I'm apparently the extremist because no. You put down the time. Yeah, you used a template. That's basically what we're talking about here. We have the original story. It's a template. It has characters that are templates, and then you made your own thing with it. You should be able to sell that.
Do you not then have the problem of if the author's values don't align with yours as a writer? Again, you take the Harry Potter universe. what we know of J.K. Rowling when it comes to like trans characters or LGBTQ or things like that. If you then went and wrote a story, we've seen gender bends, we've seen I read one recently where it was like forced marriage, and it's like 4 of the characters plus the reader insert, and 2 of those characters were in a male-male relationship. How do you then cross over the... Well, that doesn't align with what I write and my own values, and that is my work.
No, but okay. So I'm going to reiterate the question, and then I'm going to very clearly state when I say I want the authors to go fuck themselves, what I mean with that. So, who truly owns a story once it's released to the public, the author or the fandom? And my answer to that question very clearly is once you release something into the world, you do no longer have control over it.
That
This
doesn't mean you
is
don't own
not
it.
yours, this is society's.
No.
Problem is we
Yeah,
have...
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I disagree with that massively.
There's a reason we have copyrights.
I know we have copyright.
Patent.
I don't think copyright should be a thing.
Well, I think that's ridiculous. That is completely ridiculous.
Why?
For the
Because I don't
Okay,
want,
so does that apply to
Wait.
that apply to any
Creative
patented
works.
product?
No, it
Oh, okay.
applies
So
to
why is it different? Why is
creative
it?
works.
Why is that
then
different?
I think that's unfair on authors.
Why is that
That
different?
becomes unfair. You end up, you have what we had 30, 40 years ago, which is if you're creative, you're seen as less than. Because it becomes, oh, if you invent a product, like a physical product, that's worth copywriting and that should be protected from other people stealing your work. But if you write something or draw something or sing something, it's just a hobby.
No, but no. Okay. Why is that stealing their work? Because I
it's
think
theirs. They produced it.
because this is the fundamental thing here. I think we're gonna differ on completely.
I think once a work is finished, again, Harry Potter universe is a great one. She's not writing any more books for it. That series is done. Okay? I think once it's finished, there should be a set amount of time before it goes into the open domain. I think stopping the open domain was the worst thing, and I'm pretty sure it was Disney that were at fault for it.
Yeah.
But I think stopping that was the worst thing they did to creativity, because at the end of the day, technically there is no such thing as an original work. Everything comes from something. So technically speaking, every book you read has drawn influence or taken from other stories that predated
translate
it.
this to music then, Eli. Translate it to music. Should every piece of music that's released be unowned?
Do you listen to hip hop?
You're talking about sampling.
I'm talking about sampling, yes.
Okay, which is done a set period of time.
All paid for.
It's not. No, it's not.
Yes, you
No,
have
no.
the laws that are in effect right now for sampling is that
that's why
you
there's
have
been
to pay
like 4 massive
for
lawsuits
sampling someone else.
recently.
Yes.
Because if you use samples of older work in your work, we had it with
Ed Sheeran, wasn't it? No, he just sounded very similar.
No. What was the
Okay.
the one that sounds like the one that is basically a rip-off of Barbie Girl?
Yeah.
And it's a lassie singing, she's like, I'm not your Barbie girl, and it's a different way of singing it. She didn't get permission to sample the music. She had no permissions for it. She just went, I'm changing the words so it counts. And she got in massive trouble. We had the same with
that's not
Elvis.
sampling.
We had it recently with oh fuck, what's his name?
That is still
Sampling music
sampling.
is legal as long as you get permission from the sample usage from the original artist, writers, or copyright owners.
As far as I know, sampling is taking a small part of a song, like a chord progression.
You can't own chord progressions. Owning chord progressions is like owning words, which shouldn't be allowed, but sampling music is legal as long as you get permission for the sample usage from the original artist, writers, or copyright owners.
Yeah, sampling music is legal only if you have permission from the owners of both copyrights. That's the copyright of the recording you are sampling and the copyright of the works publishing. Sampling a song without permission is copyright infringement. You can face lawsuits if you infringe on someone's copyright. Here's some
Well,
tips
yeah.
for sampling music legally. Get permission,
You-
negotiate, use royalty-free samples, as there are such things that are in the open domain, use a sample clearance team, or look into databases such as the ASCAP or the SESAC
But look
or the
at it this
BMI.
way: an author spends 7 years writing, refining, editing, going through the whole works.
Mhm.
They release it.
Mhm.
In the same way as you develop a product over 7 years using R&D and everything, or develop code or a program, software, whatever, it's the exact same thing. You
Oh,
can't have
sorry,
it.
I've just realised I've been saying open domain for like 20 minutes. It's not, it's the public domain.
Yes, we know what you meant. Okay,
But
but if you take that work and you use that as a template, a jumping off point, where you use the same characters but tell a different story, and let's, for the sake of argument, say it
no, because those
also
characters are
takes you,
owned.
wait, it also takes you 7 years to do this. What's the difference?
No, as long as you
I'm not
that's why we
saying, no,
said
no, no,
we
no, 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 no,
wanted
no,
like
no,
a
no.
license, which is
If you're
basically what sampling is. It is the license to use. In this case, it
Yes,
would
but
be
that's not
use.
what I'm asking. What I'm
if you're
asking
using
is
the
if
same
you put
characters
in
in
the
the
work, why does it matter?
because the law is in place and you're making a decision after the law has been made.
Yeah.
I'm not
That is a
making
personal choice to
I'm not
take.
making a law argument. I'm making a moral argument.
But it is a law argument. It's not a moral
No.
argument.
No,
It
the
is
moral
directly a
argument
law
is
argument.
that technically speaking, the public domain should exist and should continue to exist et al. The public domain should be a thing that after a set amount of time, once work is finished, it enters the public domain and therefore can be used to remix or rewrite or whichever. However, unfortunately, it isn't the case. There is no public domain, so to speak, from this point, unless you choose specifically to mark your work as royalty free. If that is the case, then you lose out on money over the years if it at some point picks up an interest, which we have seen happen. You look at again the Presley
Then you pay a
estate.
royalty.
The
Then you pay a
Presley
royalty
estate
fee.
got massively fucked over because they allowed a lot of Elvis's songs to go into the public domain, and then thanks to a DJ that I can't remember the name of in the mid 2000s, one of his songs picked up a lot of popularity, which got a lot of people looking at him again. A lot of his songs then picked up popularity again and re-entered the charts, and they got sweet fuck all from it. Even though it was the original song being re-released, they made nada. The company that re-released it made loads. That, I think, is unfair. But, again, unfortunately, it becomes a moral argument of, can you own something and own it forever? Or should you allow others to work from it? And again, it's why fan fiction exists in the way it does right now, because you can go on sites like Tumblr or Wattpad or AO3 and you can write whatever you want. You have so much creative freedom and you can write whatever you want. You just can't profit off it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, is there times when I go, oh my god, this is so good. I've enjoyed this so thoroughly. I wish I had it as a book on my shelf. But it is possible because binding exists. There are companies you can pay to bind a book for you, or if you go on TikTok for more than 5 minutes, you'll probably learn how to do it yourself because there's videos of it all over my feed at the moment.
Or you have a friend who does it.
Yeah, or you have a friend who can do it, or, Etsy is great. So you can have them bound in a way. And for the writers that are writing the fan fiction, I think it's great to look at fan fiction as exactly that. It is fan work that allows you the learning curve and the stepping stone to get into writing your own stuff. Because if you're writing to the point where you've got thousands of readers who are hitting that kudos button,
it's
or
the work
saving your
experience
work
of
and coming back.
writing.
Yes, it's an internship, essentially. It's an
It's a
unpaid
work
internship.
experience. Yeah. It's but I will ultimately, if an author has spent years developing characters in a universe, and then that is immediately open to someone taking those owned characters because they are owned. In the same way you make any other product, a character is a made product. You take that character, you take that universe, and you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Writing is no one's going to see the point in writing. There has to either be a royalty that you earn from taking from someone using your works. So if you want to publish fan fiction, then the original author gets a portion of the profit made, or it is fan fiction until you come up with your own stuff, and you use fan fiction as a way of developing the skills, building an audience that you can then sell to. But to say that it should just like fuck authors, you are essentially taking away any. You're doing just that. You are fucking authors over. At the moment authors start getting fucked over, people aren't going to want to write, especially not going to want to make a job out of it, which means we're not going to get as great of a range of books as we have now. There has to be profit in it,
Or
and
everything
Can
will
I
just
wait?
become a
Wait!
rewrite.
Wait! Wait! I'm gonna double check something here. Has anyone seen The Haunting of Hill House, the Netflix series?
No, it's a horror.
Okay.
It's not my cup of tea.
No, that's fair. Okay. So Netflix released a series based loosely, very loosely, on the Haunting of Hill House novel. It's basically fan fiction. It made it so people went back and read the original work, which made the author's estate money.
did they have if it's based loosely on, did they have to purchase permissions to use it?
I think it's technically in the public domain.
Okay, if they've released it to the public domain and they've made money off
you're
it, fair
missing.
enough.
Yes, but you're missing the underlying point here.
No, because how many series are Netflix going to pick up?
No,
That's the thing.
No,
and you're
no,
translating.
I'm using that as an example of fan fiction can drive people to the original work.
Okay, but you're crossing medias here.
I don't have to. I've
Well,
used it as an example where
No,
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson is in the public domain. The book
Yeah.
is in the domain. It has had 2 film adaptations, a play, and a Netflix series.
Yes.
And it takes inspiration from the Winchester Mystery House and a Harlem Fire.
Mm-hmm.
But it is in the public domain. It has been released into
But
the
the
public
fact
domain.
Yes,
what
but if
you're
someone buys the
crossing-
original book, the estate gets money.
But
Correct?
you're crossing
No.
you're crossing media, and that's a big thing as well, is the fact that you're going, oh, a lot of people suddenly went back and read the book, but if they never knew the book existed to begin with, or they are primarily a TV film watcher and they've gone, you know what? So the crossing of media is a massive thing, because you could be hitting an audience that wasn't originally even aware the book existed.
Yes, I agree with that. But the
Also,
core
I would be
argument,
interested to know how many people actually went back and bought the book after watching the show and actually sat and read it.
that's a fair question.
Like that for me would be that I'd need to, if you were genuinely putting an argument to say, can we change this in law? Can we look at the public domain system and how it actually fares, and how adaptations work to promote work? I'd have to see the numbers. It's one of those things where, to make an informed decision, I would have to see, okay. And again, I'm looking at it as of 2021, the public domain books that did pick up a bit of popularity were The Haunting of Hill House, Portrait of a Lady, The Day of the Triffids, The Cats of Ulthar.
I'm gonna
This is not
assume
necessarily
a Handmaid's Tale.
I think that might have been afterwards. Also, I don't think Handmaid's Tale is in the public domain.
Is it not?
No,
think
they
so.
paid.
Like I say, if you're looking at essentially going, well, fuck authors, in the same way do we go fuck artists, fuck musicians, like, because you said the creative, the creative, which encompasses all of that. So if you can't pick and choose. Either someone produces an original work. I say original in quotation marks because, as we've discussed, nothing is primarily original. But if you take an original work, and you either have to say no one owns anything anymore, or the people who produce it own it. Like it has to be one or the other. And if no one owns anything and no one's going to profit off the development of something, no one's going to really want to create something.
So I'm not saying you don't own it. Because you own your work, you own your interpretation of the characters, of the world, etc.
You came up with the characters in the world. How can you own the universe within which it exists? You own those characters. They are of your creation. So to then have someone come and take them and essentially
And
manipulate them in a way.
reinterpret them? Yes.
No.
And reinterpret those characters and those stories. Like, okay, here's a question.
Let me take a piece of music and reinterpret it.
No. Okay, so let's use Mistborn as a jumping off point. Let's say I really love that story. It is super good. I use that as a jumping off point, and I create essentially the same characters with minor differences, and I change their names. And then I take the world and I do the same thing. What's the difference?
Then that you should develop that idea enough that it becomes original.
How can you determine if it's original? That's my problem with this argument, because the difference between fanfiction in my eyes and doing what I just said is nil.
So how would you change Allomancy then?
I don't have to change Allomancy.
Well, you do, because he came up with it.
Yeah.
So you have to change
No,
it,
but
or else that's copyright.
there are so many magic systems which are virtually identical. I don't think he has a copyright on allomancy. I just don't have to call it that. If
No,
you
but
want to be like really goddamn pedantic about it.
When you talk about morality, though, that is essentially a
Just
corner attack.
to jump in a second, allomancy is copyrighted.
Cool.
If you wrote a story, and it says if you wrote a story with a magic system that involved digesting metals in order to push or pull on other metals, it seems likely that there would be no legal case against you unless you used specific terminology such as the word allomancy, which is
Push
copyrighted.
or pull. Okay.
So, because you can't obviously,
but
you can't copyright
literally
terms. You can copyright words, and you can copyright parts.
But
of
you
things
talked
that are
about it from
important,
a moral standpoint. What you're essentially doing is theft.
Well,
Or
technically,
no, I'm asking you, what is the difference? That is literally what I'm asking you.
Technically speaking, this is actually the funniest part of this, is that you're both standing from a moral standpoint. One is standing from the moral standpoint of the public, and the other is standing from the moral standpoint of the writer.
Yep.
And this
Because
is not
I
at all
don't
how I
like
thought this
Yeah,
conversation
but
was going to go.
what's going to happen is if you take someone and that individual then becomes an author, and then that author gets essentially ripped off because they have their idea taken and developed slightly.
How is it ripped off? This is not a zero-sum game.
What do you mean by that?
The ginger cat is shouting. Well noted.
I don't understand how I can explain what this is not a zero-sum game means without using the term this is not a zero-sum game. Just because I use your work as a foundation of inspiration does not mean necessarily, even at all, that you lose readers. This is not a zero-sum game.
It's not about losing readers. It's about having
you said
your
ripped
work
off.
stolen.
No,
It's
fuck
about
you,
having...
Sam, fuck you. You said ripped off.
Do you want to calm down and take a step back?
That. No, either you change that.
Do you want to calm down and take a step back before you speak to me like that again?
Okay.
I'm going to put you two in the corner for a minute, and I'm going to ask Yune a question.
Sure thing.
Yune, what are your favourite tags?
Okay, are we talking just tags or like AU tags?
I'm gonna say just tags to start with because I think tags are the most unhinged things you can find on, especially like AO3 and Tumblr. I think the tags say so much more than they sometimes need to, but they are so fascinatingly
Well, I
funny.
found one I hadn't seen in a while when I was looking yesterday. And Housebuffs, can you make a sandwich for our youngest?
Hmm.
I need to get back to my PC. So I found Canon if you squint and look sideways.
Yeah, that's a good one. Obviously, again, we've got to do plot. What plot? I think that one is
Oh,
pretty.
plot sneaks in.
Plot sneaks in. I've got no real direction.
Just kiss already.
Ads are running.
What are they? They shouldn't be. Why are they running?
That got weirdly serious. Felt like that could be a tag for this week's chat.
I'm gonna start tagging the chat like AO3.
That sounds great. Oh, but speaking of authors and AO3 though, one of my all-time favorite author, Naomi Novik, is one of the founders of AO3.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
I didn't either until it was on the book thingy, the cover.
Okay,
They
so it
had
looks like
her
we're back
little.
from our random ad break that we weren't expecting. So apologies for
Yeah.
that, anyone who's watching.
Sorry.
We're still coming to terms with Twitch in general, but especially the ad thing doesn't seem to like us very much.
Yeah.
So we do try to give you warning. It's supposed to put a warning in the chat, but that doesn't seem to be working either. So I will look into that after this stream. Going back to the tags conversation though, I have no beta. We die like men, which is by far one of my absolute favorites.
But yeah, Just Kiss Already is one of my all-time favorites.
So we got here.
There's probably a lot of typos.
Yeah.
Plot sneaks in. No, I said that one already.
Yeah, you said that one.
And X, like whatever character it's been, has been there the whole time. Like that side character that's technically been there the entire time. So they probably know all the things you've tried to talk about, but think you're sneaky about, but they've been here all the time.
I like everything they thought they knew was a lie.
Yes. That one is good. We have some. I mean, the general.
Idiots in Love.
Yeah.
Idiots in Love is a good one. Porn with feelings.
Yeah. Or this Merlin one. Everyone loves Merlin.
Everyone does love Merlin.
They deserve happiness. Screw destiny.
Again with the Harry Potter, we've got Banff, Narcissa, Black Malfoy. Because Narcissa should have been written as the Banff that she 100% is. We're Flanked, which is fluff and angst.
Ah.
I love a bit of Flanked. Terrible accent writing. That usually tends to be a tag in place when Americans write British fanfiction, because they don't quite tend to know how to write like an English person actually speaks.
Oh, this one is one of my favorite tags. Accidental baby acquisition.
Trying to think what
I
else.
mean, just accidentally acquiring a baby.
Who's the baby daddy? Just. Oh, and no one has their shit together. It's another good one.
Warm and fuzzy feeling.
Eventual fluff.
Yes. Just as you said that, I read eventual happy ending.
Sorry.
I don't know their ship name.
Cheese. Just cheese.
Yeah.
Not cheesy. Cheese.
Slow burn, followed by the slowest of burns. A burn so slow you wonder if it's a burn at all.
What have we got here?
Or just a general kid fic is also nice.
What else do we have in our questions? Go on then. What about tropes and AUs?
Well, the royalty AU is quite fun for me. I really like that one.
Yep.
Or the coffee shop. That one is especially fun
I
for...
do like a coffee shop AU. There's something just quite chill about a coffee shop AU.
Yes. And
I
the
like a
general
Soulmates.
crossover. Yes.
Soulmates is a favorite of mine, especially if it's like soul identifying marks.
Yes. Soul marks is quite fun.
What does that mean?
It means that obviously you have a soulmate, but you'll have some sort of mark on your body. It might be like a specific like that might be the first thing that they ever say to you is written on your arm, or that, or you'll have ones where you don't see the world in color until you meet your soulmate and then you see color. And you just have all these things where it's you have a soulmate out there and then you have something that physically tells you. Sometimes they're like timers when you meet them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something just a bit nice about not only obviously knowing for definite that you have a soulmate who is somewhere in the world right now, but also having something to like lead you towards them. I think that's kind of cute.
Or the in this case it was werewolves are known, or it can be like magic is everywhere, or depending on the fandom you're currently in. And then you have the one of the characters is famous in a modern alternate universe.
Mm-hmm.
Can be quite fun. Or set in other fictional universes. So it's not quite a crossover as it is just like this character or characters just put in another's universe. Whereas crossovers are usually both or more universes melded together.
So the difference between an isekai and A Witcher?
I'm not following with the Witcher
No, I'm
one.
not. I'm not following on that one.
Okay, one of the plot points of The Witcher is I don't remember the terminology, but it's like the Great Convergence or something similar to
Yeah.
that, where the reason why the Witcher world has monsters and magic and elves and stuff
All
is
right, it's
because
the convergence of.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
spheres slammed into one
Yeah.
another, which is then the melding of worlds, and isekai is just you get transported to another world.
I mean, that works as a. Or the alive insert character or family member or whatever. Or just a general AU of human. Everyone is human. But when it comes to tropes, I do love the enemies to lovers one.
Can someone explain why that is popular?
What's that one?
Enemies to lovers.
Because there's something quite fun about reading a story about people who start off thoroughly disliking each other for whatever the reason might be, and then
Realizing the other person isn't.
and then over
completely
time
bad.
there's a build up and they realize that actually maybe the things that they hated about each other, it could be that they're from different royal families or different factions or something like that.
Wasn't that important? Wrist. Oh, marriage of convenience is also
Fake
favorite of
dating.
mine. Yeah, fake dating also.
That's the one where it's like I've been telling my family I have a boyfriend
Yeah,
slash
like,
girlfriend.
oh,
Etc.
there's a family holiday or a wedding or something coming up, and every time I go without a partner, no one leaves me alone.
Or we moved away from town, our hometown at the same time, and we have kept hanging out after that. So my family have just assumed we're together, and I've just never corrected them, and now they're expecting you to also be there for Christmas. Please come.
Or you have fake dating where it's like, my ex and I broke up, and he keeps rubbing his new relationship in my face, and now we've got to go to this thing we're both going to be at. Will you be like, will you
Please
pretend to be my boyfriend so
Hmm.
I can rub it back in his face?
Fine. Something I'm looking for that I can't remember anymore. I that myself. Or the everyone assumed we were dating, and then they start dating and realized, you know what, we were kind of dating without saying that we were dating.
Please go away, please.
Um, but one of the other things we had as talking points. Can fandom creation keep a story alive or relevant for new audiences? I think this is very it fits very well with like Merlin, for instance, because many people got introduced to Merlin with like a cameo in one of their fan fictions, then went to read more about Merlin and then realized that it was a show and then watched the show and got more into Merlin. If they could find a show to watch.
I think yeah, I think there's a lot. And I think that's one of the fun things I like about fan fiction specifically, is you can take a story that you might have really liked the characters but have been like, oh, I wonder what they would be like in this setting, and ta-da, someone has written it. Like you'll get like modern day AUs where it will be a very fantasy story. I mean, you've read Akatar. Imagine if Akatar, all the characters from that, but it took place in like New York City.
Yeah,
That would be a modern day AU. Or you can have different sort of magical. So it could be a modern story that has been set in a medieval AU, or fantasy tavern AU, things like that. And so it's fun to see, like, and it is a bit that isekai thing as well, of being like, okay, we're going to take the Marvel characters and they're going to go through a wormhole and accidentally end up in 14th century England.
Exactly.
And it's like, they're still them. They still have all their, Tony still has all the brain cells to build these amazing things, but it doesn't want to go getting, thrown in jail for being a witch or something along those lines. So how do they work it all out while also trying to work out how to get back?
Yeah. Can they get back? Or just have...
Is this their life now?
Yeah, or just have the characters in like many of the royalty AUs those are many of them are set in a medieval time frame, and depending on the fandom, there's more or less magic in that time period.
And then you just get some really fun ones. There's, Ben Solo was born as force sensitive as a potato. AU. Bodyguard is another one that, like, Bodyguard AUs brought the rise of like bodyguard romance books. Same with Mafia. A lot of the newer romance novels that we're seeing now are courtesy of fanfiction.
Yeah. Okay, so we haven't touched the big one.
Go on.
Omegaverse.
Omegaverse.
We've kind of danced around Omegaverse.
Not really.
Yeah.
No, not really. Omegaverse is fantastic if done right. It's either amazing or god awful.
Yeah. And then you can have like a duology that I read from you follow two different characters. The one book I was like, I feel a little skeevy about this, and then the next book I'm like, how is this the same place? This is like fantastic. I'm like, why? What happened here? or they're putting your ship in like The Bachelor or any kind of game show or things like that. Those
Yeah.
AUs can be fun.
Have we explained what ships are for people that don't?
Yeah, for
read
anyone that doesn't
fanfic?
know, a ship is if you have two characters that you really want to see get together in some level of romantic sense, that's who you ship.
And then you can have bro ships,
Yeah.
which is, you know, a bromance also.
But isn't technically
Another-
romantic, it's just
Mm.
they're best bros. But basically, if someone says the terminology to you of I ship them, then you know that it just means that they really want them to get together, or they really like them together as a duo of some description, whether it's platonic or romantic.
Yeah, because some ships, depending on my mood, I really want to read romance, and other times I just want them to be the best of friends because they work so well together.
And just to put this out there, so Soulmate AU, which is one of the big ones that I read a lot, there are 77 pages of the tag Soulmate AU in all its forms, and that can be anything from like colorblind until you meet your soulmate AU, counters that count down to you meeting your soulmate AU, to where was it? Soulmate AU hashtag really just gay pining.
Yeah.
The least soulmatey soulmate AU you'll ever read.
What does that mean?
It just means.
Okay.
Though not a soulmate AU, I'm just a fucking simp. That's one. So yeah. Yeah. If we could have the number of tags on forum posts that you can have for fanfiction, book club would be a hilarious place. Because I would let people tag books for themselves. Because notes on Tumblr and tags on AO3 are the
Brilliant.
best descriptors for anything you'll ever read. You don't need a blurb, you just need the notes on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Someone will tell you how it is, how it really is. And that's all you'll ever need.
So AO3 will let you, when you browse tags, to press random tags.
Yep.
And I just got crushes, cuddling, and snuggling.
Amazing.
That sounds so cute.
Let's go random. Let's see what we come up with.
And then you also get I'm bad at title.
I'm bad at title. I am bad at title. Not canon compliant will come up a lot.
Oh, yes. Or your OTP, your one true pairing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually one of my absolute
Bad
favorite
things
tags.
happen. Bingo.
Yeah. POV outsider.
Mm.
That is one of my favorite things. Just seeing from an outsider's perception.
Perception.
Yes.
Or
What's
perspective.
going on? Yeah.
Didn't know they were dating. That's a tag. Hypocrisy.
People change people.
Just hypocrisy. Nuns is a tag.
Never have I ever.
What else have
Geeky.
we got here?
Female Sam. Wonder where that's from.
Toasters. Sorry. I cut part of that off. It's not just toasters, it's violence against toasters.
Oh dear.
Rage Against the Machine.
Daddy kink. I would assume that was bigger. I also got the bad things happen bingo.
Bad thing happens, bingo. I think I might need to read. Patriotism, that's one.
Cliffhangers. Thank you for that one.
Noodle incidents.
Oh dear. Okay, so the first fan fiction for the bad things happen bingo for me is Loki and Mobius.
I like how there's a tag here that's just furniture.
Oh dear.
Elves are dicks. I mean, that
I
counts.
mean, yeah.
Let's see what I get in bad things happen bingo.
Or the just character name needs a hug.
Yeah, that one I see a lot.
Some of them truly just needs a hug.
Yep. I've read quite a few Loki needs a hug fanfics because that boy needs a hug.
Yes. But also, another talking point is the alternative universe. How do they allow fans to explore characters and stories in entirely new ways? This is also a good way of, if you're a writer yourself, putting your characters in AUs is a good way to learn more about your own characters. Just a side thing.
Wouldn't that just be a spin-off? Kind of.
No, a spin-off is happening in the same universe.
Yeah, a spin-off is happening in the same universe, but goes like an offshoot.
Yes.
From a
And
main
usually
story,
not.
whereas an alternate universe is, it could be the exact same story but in a different universe.
Yeah.
Or it could be essentially an entirely different story but with a universe full of people shifted somewhere. So again, like you could do again, I'm going to keep using Harry Potter because it's in my head at the moment. When Sirius Black, spoilers if anyone hasn't seen or read the books at this point, when Sirius Black in the Department of Mysteries gets knocked through the veil, you could have that the teenagers have absolutely no idea what that veil is and run in after him. And it's not actually death, it takes them to a different world.
Whereas a spin-off is usually not with the main character. It's with the side character that follows whatever plot, but in the same universe as the main.
Yeah, a spin-off would be what happened when X person was out of the picture for a while in the main story. So like with again, Harry Potter, you could say like, oh, when they sent words. A spin-off could be what was happening at Hogwarts while the last book was taking place, and we spent more time following Harry and Nat through their tromps around the wilderness.
A spin-off can also be what happens to X character after the events of whatever the main thing was.
Why you're not?
Wouldn't that be a sequel? Am I missing something?
No, that is a sequel for most parts. Still follows the main characters.
OBS is having some technical difficulties at the moment because it's just refreshed my chat. So my chat's all gone.
Oh.
OBS doesn't like us.
It's because I actually feel like I finally got Twitch in a reasonable manner today, and it's like, no. I'm going to call
Haha,
you now.
screw you. Ugh. I think it's quite noticeable that this week is that we're all not quite here today.
My head is.
I have a feeling your head is at tomorrow.
My head is at tomorrow.
And my head is not here at all, I feel. But that's from having been sick for a week.
Hmm.
But at least I can speak today. I mean, it doesn't hurt when I speak. I just cough a lot. Hmm? And let's see. Personal experience. Have you ever read or written fan fiction? What was your motivation?
Read tons.
Yes.
And pure motivation is just either I didn't like how something ended or I wanted to see what someone else could come up with.
Same. I've also written a bit. I have some work over at fanfiction.net as well as AOV. Not much, but a bit. But that's I probably only have Teen Wolf on AO3, I think. I have apparently have no work. Which all are Teen Wolf.
Again, Teen Wolf, Supernatural, Marvel, and Harry Potter were probably the four biggest. I've read bits from all over.
Yeah. Teen Wolf, Marvel, Supernatural, Merlin. Is probably my big ones.
I think I read Harry Potter when I was younger, and I've
What,
been
fan fiction?
subjected to yes, fan fiction, yes. uh, and I got subjected to, uh, admittedly, a very very sweet, uh, cool fan fiction of it's Teen Wolf. Yeah, it's Teen Wolf. What I did last summer, because when I listened to it when we were going to sleep.
I listened to that podfic.
Yeah.
It was the podfic I was gonna listen to while giving birth to our first child. Because it was about 20 hours of listening. So I would have something to listen to.
Yeah, I went into, and I say this with air quotes, research mode for this week, and just either went through a load of old fics that I had subscribed to, mainly to see if they had ever like finished them, because there were some that I stopped reading because I was waiting for new chapters, and then because ADHD brain is ADHD brain, I just forgot about their existence.
Yeah.
And I go through stages. Like, I'll do this now. I'll read loads, and it'll be in like everyday thing. I'll be on AO3, and then just one day I won't pick it up. Like, I'll be busy doing something else, and I won't pick it up.
And you won't pick it up.
And then
for a
I
couple.
will forget about its entire existence until someone mentions it, which is exactly what happened here. We started talking about it because we were setting up for our chat for December, and when fanfic came up, it was like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go and have a look at some tags. And then we went from looking at tags to, oh, maybe I'll see. I remember this one. Maybe I'll see if did they finish it? Oh, no, they didn't finish it. Oh, actually, I don't remember this chapter, so these must be new. You know, like yelling in the chat, fanfic for life. Absolutely.
Yep.
And then that's it. That's your job now. You have to, every couple of months, just remind me that the AO3 exists.
Will do. Did you manage to start the Marvel Teen Wolf?
Dark Hearts? No, I haven't yet because I've gone back into, for some strange reason, I've gone back into Harry Potter land.
I mean, fair.
So it's on my list. I've got it saved ready, and I will get to it. But yes, I am. I think because my brain went, if I'm going to go back to reading Marvel, I want to read Till the End Will I Writes again. But her works are lengthy. Like.
Yeah, I
So,
didn't really send you a short one. I mean, it's 425,000 words.
No, so to put this, so she wrote one book, and it was a Loki X created cat OC. That was the word I was looking for. Called Balance on the Head of a Pin. That did really well, and we're now on book 5, and they're long books. Like, they're not short fics in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to bring her up now.
That tag wrote something short, 50,000 words.
Yeah, so apart from the fact it's gonna be a flipping advert,
It's not telling me there's ads.
No, I've downloaded the AO3 Reader app.
Okay.
But it has adverts, which annoys the tar out of me. Yeah, so it's the Blessings of Magic series. It's got 5 parts now. The first book is 243,000 words, over 41 chapters. The second one is 286,000 words, over 40 chapters. The third one is 397,000 words, over 55 chapters. The fourth is 318,000 words, over 56 chapters. And then the fifth one is currently at 399,000 words and is currently at 77 chapters out of question mark.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the series. And it is my favourite series of hers, but it's just one of hers. So I knew if I went back into Marvel, I would want to reread her work. And I knew that if I did that, I'd be here until past Christmas. And so I was like, I'm going to try something else. And I listen to music I listen to music almost all day, every day. But specifically when I sleep, I can't sleep in the quiet. So I use my Alexa to play Classic FM, which is a radio station in the UK, which, if you hadn't guessed, plays classical music. They have released like a sister radio station, which is just Classic FM movies. And it's just movie scores. And of course, what comes up a lot on there is the music from the Harry Potter films. I have Hedwig's theme currently playing. But you'll get like the Once and the Yule Ball and things like that. And so I started getting into a headspace where it was almost like subliminal messaging.
Music will do that.
So yes, we went into research mode, which then became we're reading. And then because we'd been talking about it, TikTok sent me a whip or a work in progress on my For You page at all places, which was a Hermione, and I was a big Manacled fan back in the day. So that came up, and I was like, actually, that sounds all right. So I read that, and then I've got into a theme. So we're on our like 5th or 6th now. But I will read Stark Hearts.
Did you say Hermione?
Yes, Draco and Hermione.
No, I got that. Why?
Because it's fun.
I think they're a pairing that happens quite a lot, or is quite popular, because he had so much character depth that they completely fucking wasted.
Yep.
Like, the fact that when you get to the scene where the Snatchers get them and they're at the manor, and he has the opportunity to say that it is Harry and Hermione that have been grabbed, and he lies and says it isn't them. And that for me was such a pivotal turning point of his character, that he wasn't actually a bad person. He'd just been brought up in a very specific family with very specific expectations and was a child. And so I read a lot where from that point, or following, like, when the war is over, but ignoring the epilogue where they suddenly jump to having children and they're on the train, but after the war is over and Voldemort's been defeated, there's trials and there's all this, that, and the other, and then obviously they go back and they do their 8th year, and then their lives move on post-war. It gives him a lot of character growth, and so there's the opportunity, or you'll see like forced marriage, where because a lot of people died during the war, they'll have
They need to repopulate the
they need
wizard.
to repopulate the magical world, so they put in forced marriages, and then they randomly get picked, and actually over time they find, like, they learn that they do actually like each other because they've got a lot in common or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, they're quite a good pairing. The two biggest ones for anything Harry Potter is Hermione and Drarry.
Yep.
I'm not as massively big a fan of Drarry, but I think that's purely because I do prefer to read where there are women in one of the main roles, especially if it's romance, just because I find I can read an insert a little bit more.
Which is fair. Yeah, Murder and Steric is like main.
Yeah,
my
Steric was a big one.
Steric has a bit of a special place in my heart. For one reason, really, which is I really like this pairing. It's really cute. I like it. But every time someone went, well, they foreshadow it really heavily in the series, I go like, no, they don't. But it's still a cute pairing.
Yeah.
It's the same with the two of the biggest ones I've seen in the Marvel universe are Stucky, obviously, and
Yeah.
Stony, being Steve and Tony.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of
Stucky, I
Steven.
think, works,
Yeah, that I'm fine with that.
but I
Steve.
didn't get Stony at all,
No.
because they were so at odds with each other for so much time, and I know you get the whole opposites attract thing, but my brain was just like, I don't.
Yeah, my brain is like, I'd rather see Poke Shady. No, I'd rather see Tony with, like, I'd rather see him with Bucky than Steve, and I
Yes,
don't
because they've
particularly
got that, like, tragic backstory kind of.
Yeah, and like, I know for some reason I think like Tony with enough therapy could get past the fact that Bucky as the Winter Soldier killed his parents. Like, but for some reason I don't think he can get past all the things with Steve. That's
Yeah,
just my
no, I agree with
personal
you.
opinion, but yeah.
No, Shady.
Huh.
But I do enjoy now let's see. I can't remember the ship name though. But it's Tony technically like Tony with anyone.
I am
but Tony
hydrating and
adopting Peter
stretching.
Parker. It's not a ship. It's just like Tony being a father for Peter. It's
Oh
just
yeah, no,
and
I
just
like that one, and
adopting people.
I like Uncle Loki as well for
Yeah,
Peter.
Uncle Loki.
The fact that like you get these storylines where Loki is forced to sort of make repetitions for everything he did with the Battle of New York, and so he's confined to the tower on like house arrest, and then there's Peter just being his adorable golden retriever puppy self,
Yeah.
and Loki being like, I hate everyone except you. You, little spider, are my friend. I like you, and if anyone tries to hurt you, I will stab them multiple times.
Or Bruce and I never really liked Bruce and
Natasha.
Natasha. Ugh.
But I like
I think
them
it's
as
the
a friendship.
shittest pairing ever.
I like them as a friendship, but
I
I
think
do
Natasha
enjoy.
and Steve does work.
Yes, they can go be somewhere else. I don't care.
Anyway, just not on my page.
Yeah, pretty much. But Bruce and Tony in science bro mode is just great.
Yes.
Great reading. And I have a soft spot for Darcy.
Oh, I like Darcy.
I have a soft spot for Darcy and Stiles Stilinski in the same universe together. That's just
Oh yeah, no, the two of them are just sassy together.
yeah.
Wait, Darcy? Who?
From the
From
four
the Thor,
movies.
yeah, the Thor movies,
She's
and
the
WandaVision.
she's, Jane's assistant.
I miss stuff.
Dark-haired girl with massive boobs.
No,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't. That doesn't help. I'm sorry. The reason I missed something is because I haven't watched the 4 movies.
Darcy is
Okay,
brilliant.
well, you know what you need to do, don't you?
Yeah.
Beat me over the head with a frying pan until I do the things you want me to.
Well, it's pretty much that, innit? Just force you to watch every movie, all of them,
You
and the TV
can't.
shows,
No,
all of
no.
it.
Even
Need to watch all of
I
it.
have limits. I hate the Marvel TV series, every single one.
I am never watching Wanda. I can watch everything else
Oh
but
no,
Wanda.
I actually quite enjoyed WandaVision. I struggled with Hawkeye's one, but I liked Loki and I liked WandaVision.
I don't know. Uh, the Marvel series never worked for me. Like none of them. There might be good Marvel series, but honestly, none of them have worked for me.
Yeah, I think we have thoroughly gone through all of our talking points.
Hmm.
And I think we're going to end a little bit early tonight. So, next week, when I remember where I put the information, next week we have Une presenting Lit RPG. It's going to be a fun one because I know naff all about it. So, you really will be taking the reins there. And I will very possibly still not be able to speak from my adventures tomorrow evening.
I mean, fair. That's why we have a chat.
That's why we have a chat. I will be manning the chat next week. So
Hopefully, I haven't lost my voice again by that point.
you were not allowed to because it's my week to lose my voice. You have to have full speaking voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully not cough so much that I lose my voice. But we'll see.
But yeah, thank you very much to everyone who joined us. And of course, if you want to be in the fun with us, you want to come and join the chat, or you want to carry on the chat and tell us all the things you love about fanfic, you can join us in Discord. I'm going to post the link now because my Stream Elements doesn't like me very much. Yay, it works this time.
Yay.
So yeah, and we will see you Thursday for Terrible Gaming with me, the Trash Panda,
Mhm.
and then
You
it'll
guys
be
take care.
Lit RPG. So good luck, have fun, and we'll see you next week.